I'm more free. I feel 300% more free than in Belgium. It's so safe, so I can get out during the night at 10 and midnight. I can let my wife go. I don't have to check all the time about my wallets. This is freedom.
Meet Joffroy, a Belgian who has lived in China for 17 years. He has a Chinese wife and works in manufacturing. Joffroy shared the biggest misconceptions Europeans have about China, how Westerners perceive Chinese driving culture, and why raising a child as a foreigner in China is so expensive. I'm Max Chernov, your insider to Expat Life. Doba.
What do you think the biggest stereotypes in Europe about China?
Communist country, authoritarian, people are not free, tough life, poor quality products, and stuff like that. And that's the thing that you see in the news, in the movies, and stuff like that. Also, when you see some interview, they will never show all those guys driving Porsche and Audis and whatsoever.
Yeah.
And all things are working in China. So
They show this rickshaw guys, tuk-tuk.
it's the news, but also people don't want to see that. You see a country, you want to see those stereotypes. Also, if you speak about another country, about Mexico, about this.
Yeah.
In the restaurant, normally when you invite some guests and everything, they have always to face the door.
You should face the door.
You should face the door.
Okay.
The most important people will always sit, in this case,
Okay.
that seat and that seat.
Okay.
And usually come from ancient things that before there was no safety, no security and everything. So you want to see if you have like an enemy, an opponent entering the door. You want to let the most important people to have the time to defend themselves.
Oh wow.
So you will never see them back to the door.
Oh, okay. How you do it if it's like there are 6 people and like 6 friends? Six colleagues.
Then you don't care. You don't,
don't care.
I was not prepared about China. I didn't made any research. I never learned Chinese, and I just arrived there. So
What was your first impressions?
shocked, big cultural shocked about everything, the number of people, China, the way that people are living, the mentality difference, the way that people are completely thinking in a different way, the weather. So I think the first 6 months were tough to adapt, and after 6 months you begin really to enjoy it. Then after 1 year I met my wife, Chinese. So this simplifies things also. If you're alone in China,
Yeah.
it can be tough. If you have a Chinese wife,
Yeah.
it simplifies things. So my wife is taking care of all those admin things and small things to do in life, and for me, I'm more enjoying working and so on. Busha Bing, we are hot caramel macchiato. Coffee is also very interesting things. Also in China, not a lot of competition in China. So Starbucks is kind of losing a big part of the market. There are some new Chinese brands coming on the market. Or before there was, probably Costa Coffee, Pacific Coffee. But now they have Luckin Coffee for China.
Oh, Luckin, yeah. I know Luckin. Yeah.
Luckin, there are some other brands. I saw some nice article about those also. So let's see if it brings the price of Starbucks down or not.
Yeah.
But you come during the weekend, it's crowded, Starbucks. But most of the people will not drink coffee.
Yeah, they just drink tea after work.
No, they will drink tea.
They will drink tea.
They will drink all those.
So it's not the Chinese are not really big in coffee drinking.
No.
So it's more tea.
They don't like it.
When you start like thinking maybe at least 1 year passed, 2 years passed, like should I stay? Should I go? Like why you decided to stay?
Business opportunities. I think job opportunities, business opportunities.
Yeah. More than in Europe.
More than Europe, more interesting for sure. You have also a lot of job opportunities in Europe, less business opportunities because the market, like in US, like most of the Western world, the market is quite mature.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult to create something. In China, everything is evolving, and just the mentality, everything is fast-paced, developing. I like to be in an economy in development. The mentality of people, everybody is kind of more entrepreneur. And you have always this mentality that something can happen tomorrow to you. You can meet somebody in the street, start a business, and be very successful. I think we lost a bit this. I don't know US, but in Europe we lost a bit this kind of philosophy that everything is possible. And also, perhaps it will never happen. Also, perhaps I will never create my own business and be very successful.
Yeah.
But still, you think it's possible. For me, that's something that I enjoy to live here in China. It's the fact that everything is always changing, moving, and everything.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people back in Europe or back in the US and whatsoever, everything's quite monotone, you know, flat,
Yeah.
everything always the same. And that's one part why I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. The energy.
Constantly
The energy. It's definitely like
energy and the speed. Everything goes fast. When we return to Europe or back home, we have a cultural shock. That everything is slow. Everything stops at 5 or 6 p.m. and then you cannot get any food. Besides that, I like the Chinese philosophy. Like we spoke a bit in the car, and they're very friendly, very open to speak to people. Security is amazing.
safety. Yeah.
Safety in China is amazing. I think for me it's the safest country in the world.
Yeah. Safer than Europe.
Sure, definitely. I can have a walk at night. We can go to drink tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, be completely drunk.
Yeah.
Return to home by foot, cross the city. There is not one person who will annoy you or things like that. It's completely safe. It's one of the basic needs of life, you know, to feel safe. Also, my wife, if she tell me, oh, I feel a bit not good tonight at 10 o'clock in the evening and she wants to have a walk, she will go. I will not be worried or whatsoever, or my sons or whatsoever. Everything is pretty safe. So, and never any trouble. Also, when you go out, you never get into fight or whatsoever. And so this is a big thing also.
Another side of safety is like you being monitored, basically a lot of CCTVs and stuff. Do you feel like it kind of restrict your freedom in a way?
I'm more free. I feel 300% more free than in Belgium.
Yeah.
Because like I say, it's so safe. So I can get out during the night at 10 and midnight. I can let my wife go. I don't have to check all the time about my wallets. We let our mobile phone on the restaurant tables and all this kind of thing. This is freedom.
Yeah.
In Europe, in US probably the same. You have to be careful. When I'm in the street, I see 4 guys at the end of the street. I will be suspicious. I will change the side of the street. I will check behind myself. So that's not freedom. There is no camera. So for me, I feel really safe. I can do whatever I want. I'm driving, working, and if you don't go against the law, and if you don't do any political things, if you're a normal person, you just go to work, normal life. No problem. I for sure don't go to strike against the government or do that stuff. And also we are foreigner. And like Chernov say, we will stay foreigner. We are guests here, and there are a lot of things in life that remind you that we are guests.
Yeah.
And you have to be better than the Chinese in terms of respecting regulations and everything. So, but this is normal. I think it's in any country. If you're not in your own country, you respect more the rules. And
I 100% agree with you. Like, not needed to worry about like your wife or your kids. Like,
it's basic.
When we lived in Moscow. If she go out, let's say, by herself, like I'll be waiting for her, or I go and pick her up. So I wouldn't go to sleep if she's out. Here, it's like I don't care. You go out, you go out. I go sleep.
It's a basic need of life. It's one of the basic things that we don't have anymore so much. In the Western world, and for me, this is a big thing. For me, what I like to be here, and for my kids also, less temptation. We speak about safety. Less temptation for drugs whatsoever, troubles in the side of trouble. They don't have this kind of bad temptation here.
So many expensive cars I see here. In Guangzhou and here.
Also the Chinese cars. Like also we are speaking about quality. Chinese cars are very good quality, but at the end they will be the same price as a European car and whatsoever. For Chinese cars, for me also, I bought my car like 1 year ago. I went to the auto show, and first I wanted, for sure, definitely to buy my preference was going for a European car or an American car. So I checked them all around, but still the style and everything, all the Western cars looks still kind of traditional. They don't evolve so much in terms of design, features and everything. And then you go to the Chinese cars, and my God, there is like
the future.
Full of tech, nice designs and everything. So finally I bought a Chinese car, electric car also.
By the way, guys, if you wanna start working remotely, one of the options is to start your own YouTube channel. And I prepared for you a PDF guide how to make your first $1,000 from your YouTube channel. Okay, if you want this guide, it's for free. There's the link in the description. Go get it. And now back to the video.
How people drive here is easy for you, like compared to Europe?
It's easy because the regulations are the same, the signs and everything's completely the same. People drive also much slower than in Europe, but they don't respect always the rules. So they don't drive so well also. For them, it's the first generation on the road. They're not so confident in driving, they will hesitate, they will not use so often the side mirrors, the central mirror also. So they will change the lines without watching. They don't tend to use their lights to signal that they're turning or whatsoever.
Yeah.
Give it another 30 years, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
This car give you a lot of assistance when you're driving.
Yeah.
辅助驾驶 LCC 已开
For
启，
example, this
请
is how
注意
he-
行车安
he's
全。
driving by himself.
All right. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Here we're not on highway, but also on highway is following the GPS, so I don't have to drive. I don't have to drive to return home.
Yeah.
Like he's doing everything by himself. But in the secondary road, small road, then you have to take back the wheel. So he's just not controlling the GPS, but just the road and everything. Otherwise, he's driving by himself, parking
Yeah.
by himself,
No, you're not accelerating.
not accelerating,
pressing the
everything,
pedal as well.
brake by himself.
I know Tesla. It kind of see if you are sleeping, for example.
Yeah, same
Okay.
thing here. Same thing here also.
Ah.
We have the sensors and everything. If I don't put my hands on the wheel after a certain time, if I check,
asking you, yeah, to put.
yeah, he will ask me to put my hands on the wheel.
Ah.
And also, if I watch on the side or on the back, he will see that I'm not watching the road.
Yeah.
So he will tell me if I'm watching my phone or whatsoever. He see it.
Ah, nice. Are you afraid of doing it? Or no?
No, I do it very often now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very often. Sometimes too much. Sometimes too much also. Because I'm not living here,
Yeah.
so I'm living close to the city center. So I have still like 50 kilometers drive. So 1 hour drive in the morning and night. So a lot of time, just activate it.
What would be the price range for this type of car?
This type of car, it's still quite expensive. It's from around 200,000 RMB.
What's the experience like raising kids in China?
The first thing I will say, it's expensive.
It's expensive because of the
Expensive.
international school.
Not about international school, everything, also for Chinese people, everything about kids. So big demands for the Chinese population. They care so much about their kids that everything is related to kids. Any activities, my son is playing football, he has some drum lesson and stuff like that. Everything is very expensive in comparison to Europe. Okay, Europe and US, you have a lot of subsidies going to some local clubs, sportive clubs and all this kind of thing. In China you don't have. But still for Chinese people it's a business. So if you go to a football lesson, you can pay for the year, but generally you pay for per lesson or whatsoever. It's very expensive. Then schools, if you want to go to a nice school, also for Chinese people, private schools is very expensive. International school is crazy expensive. That's why most of the people, me and Chernov, we have only one kid because it's tough.
Yeah.
Also for Chinese people, now they change, as you know,
They
they
change
change the
this law,
regulation.
yeah.
Now you can have as many kids as you want.
Yeah.
But still people stick to one because they can just afford one kid.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a big problem. They try to change a bit the regulation, especially for schools and extracurricular activities, to try to bring the price at a lower level. But they don't succeed because it's impregnated in the mentality of the people. So many people, not so many jobs available. So they want their kids to go to the best schools, have the best activities, and
Yeah. But for Chinese, it's cheaper. I mean, the school probably.
yeah, it's free.
It's free. The tuition centers that work.
So for me, I just choose a school for my son,
Yeah.
and I was hesitating until the last minute. Do we put him in the Chinese school or do we put it in an international school?
Yeah.
For me, I was okay to go to send my kids to the Chinese school because it's much harder. They have to long hours per day of schools, and they start very early in the morning and finish very late at night. It's quite tough. But at the same time, especially early age, we have a lot of discipline. Discipline, respect for the teacher. And that's something that, for me, I think is very important at early age.
Yeah.
And also, if it's tougher at the beginning, then they take some good habits to work very hard. And then my plan was later to move it back to an international school or something more open, more free. But finally, we went for international school. So my son is in the French international school.
Is there local schools and international schools, like the division? Like
They divide it. There is like the private first. In China, they have the private schools and the state-owned schools. Two different systems. Generally, Chinese people will trust more like the state-owned school because there is less regulation for the private one. Chinese schools are free from after kindergarten. Kindergarten they have still to pay. After that, it's free.
Can you send your son to a local?
I can.
Theoretically, you can. Because he's Chinese. If he's like foreigner, like different passport,
Then he cannot enter the Chinese school.
cannot walk. Okay.
If you have one of the parents is Chinese, then logically you can access it. For me, no, he was in private kindergarten with a Montessori
Okay.
philosophy.
Yeah.
So it's still quite expensive for kindergarten.
How much is it per month?
In renminbi, I think in the Chinese yen, it was around 60,000 a year.
60,000 a year. Okay, so it's
around
around 12k
$10,000.
Singapore dollars, so 10.
$8,000. Yeah, something
It's
like that.
actually it's pretty expensive. It's like Singapore price almost.
Sure. That's why I say it's not the
Singapore
most.
salaries are higher than.
It's not the
Chinese
most.
salaries.
It's not the most expensive one.
What's the price of international school for 1 year?
In Guangzhou, I think it depends also Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou. Guangzhou is quite expensive also. It's around 200,000 renminbi a year. So yeah.
30k.
Now you know why
it's
my
more
son-
expensive than Singapore.
If I say that to my friends and family in Europe,
Yeah.
and now I put my kids in the French school, with one of the cheapest school.
Yeah.
It's my own language, so that's the main reason why I put him there. But it's also one of the cheapest, so it's half that price for the first years. But still, like in euro, it's like I pay 1,000 to 1,500 euro
Yeah.
a month to send my kids to primary school, where they just learn basically French, play around, do some drawings, and everything.
That's it. Yeah.
It's crazy.
What are you not supposed to do as a foreigner in China?
Break the rules. Yeah, don't try to promote stuff, politics stuff, and stuff like that. Also, don't try
This
to.
missionary work is a very big no-no.
Same thing for our,
Oh yeah, missionary work.
same thing for our religion and everything. Don't try to promote religions or stuff like that. Then follow the rules or the normal regulation. Don't drink and drive. But this is like for most of the people like this. China is a zero tolerance for driving with alcohol. But this is fine also. I think that's how it should be.
You cannot have dual citizenship officially.
You cannot. In China, still the rules is only you can shoot. Only one is allowed. Until 18,
Yeah.
it goes very high. After 18, if they know that you have both nationality, they will ask you to give up one.
Yeah.
But there is a problem. For example, in the case of Belgium, my son cannot choose to be Belgian or not Belgian. According to the law, he is Belgian because he's my son. According to the Belgian laws, if the father is from Belgium,
Yeah.
automatically you're Belgian. So
He can give up.
you cannot give up.
Theoretically?
You cannot give up. You cannot give up.
Argentinian. You cannot give up.
Yeah, you cannot give up. You are. Also, if you don't have the passport, you are. So
you don't have.
if my kid come with his Chinese passport to the Belgian consulate, he want to see his grandparents. You say, okay, I would like to have a Schengen visa in my passport.
Yeah.
First thing they will do, especially for kids, they will check who you are, the parents, and everything.
Yes.
And then they say, oh, the father is from Belgium. He is Belgian. I cannot give a Schengen visa to a Belgian person.
Yeah.
So it's a big problem. So also for those reasons, China is a bit more flexible.
What's the relationship of Chinese with the rules overall? Do you want to ban the rules? You want to just follow the rules?
I will say they respect the rules if there is somebody behind the rules to make sure that they're respected and everything. If there's
Yes.
some kind of
Yes.
punitive aspects to it,
Yeah.
like traffic laws, labor laws, whatsoever.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I will tend to say that Chinese like to bend. So that's why we say so many cameras here. That's why you have a lot of safety here.
Yeah.
I think it's only because everything is controlled. So it's impossible to do any bad things
Thank you.
without being coked
Yeah.
whatsoever. Otherwise, we say all humans, and Chinese people are like, I think, European and Americans and whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not so different. The only thing here, yeah. So like same thing for the traffic lights. We can see it in Huadu. In the city center, you cannot see it so much. People will respect the rules, the laws, stop at the traffic light and everything. Here, when you get out of the city, there are less camera or no camera. People will just go. Yeah, they just cross. They don't care about the red traffic light. They just check around.
It's the little stuff. It's not the big stuff,
Yeah,
generally.
it's just the small stuff, huh?
Do you think Chinese people are patriotic?
Crazy patriotic.
Oh yeah?
Very proud of their country. You can see the flags everywhere. On the cars, they like to put their flags and everything. They're something that we lost a bit in Europe and a bit less in the US.
I think Americans
In Europe, we
are
lost this
quite
thing.
patriotic.
So I think it's very important. That's why I was saying with my kids to have respect for the teacher, respect for the police, respect for the army, respect for the government. And that's the big strength of China. When the president says something, the next day everybody will do what he says and invest. They will invest, especially the wealthy people. Okay, they expect something in return, but they listen. They listen what the government says. They trust the government with the decision that they are making. Something that we lost, especially in Europe. If the government says something, people go in the opposite direction. Say there must be something. Chinese are more and more proud, and also when they travel more and more, they see the outside also. A lot of them, they're not so impressed anymore by Europe or whatsoever. They say, okay, there's some good stuff. Nature is amazing. The way of living is also amazing. The food also and stuff like that. But they're more and more proud of their country. And also with those clashes between US and China, all those political things, Chinese people can still access those information. And also they take it sometimes badly.
Yeah.
What makes them more patriotic, more nationalist and all this kind of thing.
Okay, here we have Skechers. We have probably all the brand here.
Nike, Adidas, Skechers, DJI, all this kind of stuff.
That's another thing. It's also like the shopping mall. So here we are also in a small.
Yeah, it's like
it's a kind of town or things
small
like
town
that.
inside the big Guangzhou.
But the shopping mall in comparison
to
to Europe and Belgium and everything, like very modern and everything clean, everything new. Also, like for example, in the shopping mall, you can see that place there. It's like for the kids. It's a kids area with a lot of games, karting,
nice.
Indoor karting, and all this kind of thing. You should have a look. It's a crazy. Also for your video, you can have a look. It's like a theme park inside the shopping mall. I feel most of the Chinese are very admirative for the US. They still take them like an example to follow because there's a strong economy, a strong country. So okay, there are some people who will pay attention to those kind of small fights between China and the US, but mainly the majority of the people. And that's the difference perhaps also with Western people. When somebody is doing something well, they admire them and they try to copy them and they try to do the same thing. They try to follow their steps. And okay, the US things is disappearing step by step, but still there. Some people admire. Also with Trump and all this kind of thing. They like strongmen. They like a strong man to lead the country. Most of the people, they understand. They like Trump. They like Elon Musk. For us, as Westerner, we are kind of very jealous of people that succeed. We always find an explanation behind it. You know,
rich dad.
Rich dad.
Yeah. Just luck.
He did this. It's so easy. But Chinese mentality are completely different. If they see like a guy passing in a Ferrari, they say, "Oh, this guy must have done something good." And they will try to find an explanation, but a positive explanation behind it.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, the attitude towards success and money is more positive. You think?
Yeah, more positive. Yeah, and towards strangers also. And us as foreigners living in China, people are always very interested. If they know only 2 or 3 words of English, they will come to you and to say, "Good morning, thank you. What's your name?" After they cannot answer to anything, but they will still come to you to say those words. It's a question of also of difference of mentality. Like for us, we see somebody who don't speak your own language, you will try to avoid.
And here is curiosity. That's
curiosity, like they like to learn. They like to learn things. They know only a few words in English. They want to practice. So most of the parents, when they see foreigners, they will say to their kids, "Say something to him. Say something to him." No, you can speak English.
Yeah,
It's a party trick.
go practice your English.
For us, if I see we see some foreigners in the street with us. Kids, we say, "Come close to me. Don't speak to him. Don't speak to him."
Any Chinese habits that you obtained through the years?
I will not wear shoes at home.
Yeah.
I'm much more hygienic also than I'm in Europe. Here in China, for no reason, because everything is quite clean. But you will go always to clean your hands before eating, before doing anything when you finish, and stuff like that. That's the way that Chinese do. And my wife is behind that, always to repeat it to me.